What if I told you that Amish families grow abundant food without spending a dollar on pesticides, while conventional farms spray dozens of times per season? That their gardens have fewer pest problems after 50 years than chemical-dependent farms have after 5? Traditional Amish pest control refined over 300 years works better than chemicals. And today I'm going to show you 10 methods. Handpicking at dawn. Daily dawn inspections where pests get collected into jars of kerosene eliminate 80 to 90% of damage without any sprays. The critical timing is early morning when cool temperatures make beetles, caterpillars, and bugs sluggish and easy to catch. Amish culture assigns this as children's chore, making it educational while genuinely productive. Kids learn to identify Colorado potato beetles on potatoes, tomato hornworms on tomatoes, squash bugs on cucurbits, and Japanese beetles on beans. 10 to 15 minutes of focused collection daily prevents infestations that would require hours of crisis management later. Multi-generational knowledge teaches children exactly where to look because different pests hide in specific locations. Colorado beetles cluster on leaf undersides, hornworms hide along main stems, squash bugs congregate at vine bases. The kerosene kills collected pests instantly, and the ritual teaches observation skills and natural history. Your garden becomes a classroom where children learn ecology while protecting the family food supply. Row covers and netting. Lightweight fabric draped over crops during critical 3 to 4 week periods prevents nearly 100% of pest damage through simple physical barriers. The timing matters because most pests have specific egg-laying windows when adult moths or flies seek host plants. Covering crops during these windows blocks access completely. Amish families use simple wire hoops or wooden frames with reusable covers stored from year to year. Cabbage moths lay eggs in spring over 3 weeks, so covers go on transplants and come off after the window closes. Flea beetles attack young plants in early season, so covers protect until plants grow large enough to tolerate damage. Carrot rust flies have 2 generations, requiring covers during May and August in most climates. The materials historically were cheesecloth, but modern floating row cover works better, allowing light and water through while blocking insects. One-time investment lasts 5 to 10 years with careful storage. Birds attacking seedlings or ripening fruit get excluded by netting that costs pennies compared to crop value. Your transplants grow undamaged through vulnerable periods, then thrive uncovered once established enough to resist pests. Wood ash and diatomaceous earth. Fine powders dusted on plants desiccate soft-bodied pests through abrasive particles that cut insect exoskeletons, causing fatal dehydration. Wood ash from cooking fires provides free zero-cost pest control that Amish families apply after morning dew. The moisture helps powder stick to leaves where it remains effective until rain washes it off. Slugs crawling over ash or diatomaceous earth suffer damage to their soft bodies and dehydrate. Aphids coated in powder cannot feed effectively and die from moisture loss. Flea beetles avoid plants dusted with abrasive material. Soft-bodied larvae of various pests contact the powder and fail to develop. Application timing is early morning when dew holds powder on foliage, or after light rain when leaves are damp. Reapplication after every rain or weekly during peak pest season maintains protection. Traditional practice used wood stove ash as byproduct of daily cooking, making it abundant free resource. Modern diatomaceous earth works similarly and can be purchased affordably. The bonus benefit is that wood ash adds potassium to soil, providing slow-release fertility along with pest control. Your wood stove or fireplace produces pest control material instead of waste requiring disposal. Trap crops and sacrificial plantings. Plants that pests prefer over main crops draw insects away where they concentrate and can be destroyed easily, reducing main crop damage 60 to 80%. The strategy plants pest-preferred varieties 2 weeks before the main crop, giving pests an early attractive target. Nasturtiums planted around gardens draw aphids away from vegetables because aphids prefer them over nearly everything else. Radishes attract flea beetles more than other brassicas, so radish rows sacrifice themselves protecting cabbage and broccoli. Early potatoes planted specifically as trap crop attract Colorado potato beetles, then get destroyed before beetles lay eggs, crashing the population before the main potato crop matures. Traditional Amish observation over generations identified which plants pests preferred, then deliberately used that knowledge. The trap crops are either destroyed with pests on them, or in the case of nasturtiums, left as permanent aphid magnets that also attract predatory ladybugs. Some trap crops like nasturtiums provide dual benefit as edible flowers and ornamental beauty while serving pest control function. Your garden layout uses pest behavior against them rather than fighting natural preferences. Barrier methods. Physical barriers prevent pests from reaching plants with 90 to 100% effectiveness for specific targeted problems. Cutworm collars made from toilet paper tubes or cardboard circles around transplant stems block cutworms that cut plants at soil level. The simple barrier prevents access to the vulnerable stem base where cutworms feed. Slug barriers using copper tape, crushed eggshells, or diatomaceous earth circles stop slugs through either electrical reaction from copper or abrasive damage from sharp edges. Tree bands with sticky substances applied around trunks prevent ants, caterpillars, and other climbing insects from reaching fruit or leaves. Traditional Amish practice observed pest behavior and blocked access routes with recycled materials costing nothing. Cardboard collars decompose naturally after transplants establish and no longer need protection. Copper tape lasts for years and provides permanent slug exclusion around raised beds. The method is completely targeted, affecting only pests that must cross the barrier, while leaving beneficial insects undisturbed. Your transplant survived the vulnerable period when cutworms caused total losses, and established plants thrive because the critical early weeks were protected. The chicken tractor system. Mobile chicken coops with 4 to 6 hens that move across the garden daily eliminate 70 to 90% of soil-dwelling pests while fertilizing simultaneously. The portable pen allows chickens to scratch 4 to 6 inches deep, eating pest eggs, larvae, and pupae hidden in soil. The chickens consume cutworm larvae, Japanese beetle grubs, squash bug eggs and nymphs, and cabbage moth pupae that conventional farming requires chemicals to control. The manure left behind fertilizes while pest populations crash from the intensive predation. Daily movement to fresh sections ensures complete garden coverage over 2 to 3 weeks. The timing strategy uses chickens in spring before planting to eliminate pests that overwintered in soil. Fall deployment after harvest destroys pest eggs laid for next year, breaking the reproductive cycle. Between succession crops, chicken tractors sanitize beds before replanting. Amish construction uses scrap lumber and chicken wire in simple A-frame or rectangular designs, typically 4 by 8 feet with wheels or handles for easy moving. 4 to 6 hens provide optimal density for the pen size, with too few leaving pests and too many creating bare soil. The targets eliminated include all soil-dwelling pest life stages that emerge to attack crops. Traditional integrated animal systems refined over 200 years combine pest control with egg production and fertilization. The labor requirement is 5 minutes daily to move the pen and collect eggs. Results show dramatic reduction in pest emergence from treated soil compared to untreated areas. The soil benefits include nitrogen-rich manure and aeration from scratching that improves structure. Cost is one-time pen construction plus maintaining a small flock that pays for itself through eggs. Modern chemical soil fumigation attempts similar pest elimination, but kills beneficial organisms and costs hundreds of dollars, while chickens improve soil life while controlling pests. Implementation starts with a small pen, 3 to 4 chickens, and 1 garden bed to learn the system before scaling up. Your soil becomes sanitized of pest populations naturally while fertility improves, and fresh eggs accumulate as bonus production. Companion planting for pest confusion. Intercropping multiple species confuses pests that locate hosts by scent and sight, reducing damage 40 to 60% through diversity alone. Strong scented plants mask the odor signatures that pest insects track to find host plants. Visual diversity prevents pests from recognizing the uniform patterns that monocultures present. Some companions actively repel pests through volatile chemical compounds they release. Flowering companions attract beneficial predators that patrol for pest prey. Dense polycultures create environments hostile to pest concentration because pests cannot find enough host plants clustered together. Proven Amish combinations refined over 300 years include tomatoes with basil, where basil's strong scent masks tomato odor from hornworm moths seeking egg-laying sites. Cabbage family crops interplanted with thyme and sage sea reduced cabbage moth pressure because aromatic herbs deter the moths. The Three Sisters combination of corn, beans, and squash confuses corn borers while providing mutual support. Carrots interplanted with onions experience fewer carrot rust flies because onion scent repels the flies. Potatoes grown near horseradish suffer less Colorado beetle damage from compounds horseradish roots release. Roses paired with garlic see reduced aphid pressure from garlic sulfur compounds. The scientific mechanisms involve volatile organic compounds masking host plant signatures, visual camouflage disrupting pest search images, and allelopathic compounds that pests instinctively avoid. Traditional knowledge accumulated through 300 years of observation, documenting what actually works rather than theory. The planting density requires close spacing with species intermingled rather than separated in rows because the scent and visual blending needs proximity. Companions should be planted simultaneously so their scents blend from the beginning rather than added later. Amish gardens intermix ornamental herbs like marigolds throughout because they're beautiful and functional simultaneously. Marigold roots exude chemicals that kill nematodes in soil over a season. The scent deters aphids, whiteflies, and tomato hornworms from nearby plants. Flowers attract beneficial predatory insects that hunt pests. French marigolds, Teget's patula specifically, show the most effectiveness in research studies. Nasturtiums function as trap crops drawing aphids while providing edible flowers and leaves with peppery flavor. They also deter squash bugs and cucumber beetles while attracting predatory insects. Modern research has confirmed that traditional combinations genuinely work through measurable mechanisms, validating centuries of Amish observation. Implementation starts with 2 to 3 proven combinations, observing results through the season, then expanding based on what succeeds in your specific conditions. Your garden transforms from vulnerable monoculture to confusing polyculture, where pests struggle to locate targets among the diversity. Beneficial insect habitat. Creation. Permanent populations of pest predators maintained through year-round flowering and undisturbed habitat provide 60 to 80% pest control once established. Adult beneficial insects require nectar and pollen for energy, while their larvae devour pest insects. Continuous flowering from spring through fall ensures beneficials always have food sources. Undisturbed areas including leaf litter, rock piles, and perennial plant bunches provide overwintering sites where beneficials survive winter. Diverse habitat supports diverse predator species, with each predator specializing on different pests. Once established, beneficial insect populations patrol the garden constantly without any human intervention required. Key beneficial insects include ladybugs, whose adults and larvae each eat 50 to 60 aphids daily. Lacewings produce larvae that consume over 200 aphids during development before pupating. Parasitic wasps lay eggs inside aphids, caterpillars, and beetle larvae, with wasp larvae consuming the pest from within. Ground beetles hunt nocturnally, eating slugs, cutworms, and root maggots that hide during day. Hoverfly larvae eat aphids voraciously while adults pollinate flowers. Praying mantis serve as generalist predators, eating many pest species. The habitat requirements include flowering plants like yarrow, dill, fennel, Queen Anne's lace, and buckwheat that provide accessible nectar and pollen. Permanent perennials create overwintering sites and provide early spring nectar when annuals haven't bloomed yet. Undisturbed areas must remain because tidy gardens eliminate the shelter beneficials need. Water sources, including shallow dishes and bird baths, with stones give beneficials drinking access. No pesticides can be used because even organic approved sprays kill beneficial insects along with pests, crashing the populations you're trying to build. Amish tradition maintains permanent flower borders around every garden, serving ornamental and functional purposes simultaneously. Traditional plantings include yarrow that attracts over 500 beneficial insect species while providing medicinal uses. Fennel hosts swallowtail butterflies and attracts parasitic wasps. Dill's umbrella-shaped flowers feed tiny parasitic wasps perfectly. Sunflowers attract ladybugs while providing seeds for beneficial birds that eat overwintering pest eggs. The timing strategy succession plants flowers to ensure continuous bloom from spring through fall without gaps. Spring bulbs, dandelions, and early perennials feed emerging beneficials. Summer annuals, including cosmos, zinnias, and marigolds, maintain nectar flow. Fall bloomers like goldenrod, asters, and sedum provide food as beneficials prepare for winter. Layout options include borders around garden perimeters, hedgerows between fields, and flowers intermixed throughout vegetable beds. Every Amish garden includes flower borders because the dual ornamental and functional value justifies the space. Results show that established beneficial populations provide majority of pest control without requiring daily human intervention. A time to establish full populations typically requires 2 to 3 years as predator species discover the habitat and build numbers. Modern pesticide-dependent farming creates a treadmill where spraying kills beneficials, allowing pest resurgence, requiring more spraying and endless cycles. Implementation plants perennial flower borders this year, adds annuals for immediate bloom, and practices patience while populations establish. Your garden becomes home to an army of pest predators working around the clock to protect your crops. Cover crop integration uses winter rye for biomass, weed suppression, and erosion control. Crimson clover fixes nitrogen while providing early spring bloom for beneficial insects. Buckwheat grows rapidly as summer cover, accumulating phosphorus from soil. Mixtures of multiple cover crops support diverse soil biology better than monocultures. Traditional Amish practice of 300 years continuously building soil creates compounding fertility where productivity increases over generations. Long-term results show pest problems decreasing yearly as soil health improves because healthy plants resist damage. Disease pressure drops from biological suppression by beneficial soil microorganisms. Water efficiency improves from organic matter that holds moisture through dry periods. Yields increase steadily while external input requirements decrease because soil becomes a self-sustaining system. Modern research confirms direct correlation between soil organic matter percentage and plant pest resistance. Chemical farming creates dependent weak plants requiring constant protection because soil biology is destroyed. Amish philosophy follows the principle, feed the soil, not the plant, because healthy soil feeds plants properly with balanced nutrition. Implementation begins with soil testing to establish baseline, then adding compost, planting cover crops, and practicing patience through the 3 to 5 years required to build genuinely healthy soil. Once established, pest problems become minimal because the foundation of plant health prevents most issues before they start. Your garden transforms from constant battle against pests into a thriving ecosystem where healthy plants naturally resist damage. These 10 Amish methods prove that chemical-free pest control works better than spraying. not just for health and environment, but for actual results. 300 years of refinement created systems where pest problems decrease annually instead of requiring escalating chemical inputs. The foundation is observation and prevention rather than reaction to crises. Handpicking, barriers, and row covers provide immediate physical control. Chickens, trap crops, and beneficial insects create living pest management armies. Companion planting and crop rotation prevent pest concentration and break reproductive cycles. Healthy soil grows inherently resistant plants that rarely need intervention. You don't need to be Amish to apply these methods. Start with daily observation and handpicking. Plant flowers for beneficials, build soil health obsessively, rotate crops, and use row covers during critical periods. These techniques compound over years, making your garden increasingly pest resistant while eliminating chemical exposure and expense. Your children can safely play in gardens where chickens and ladybugs protect plants naturally.